It's July 26th, about the peak of the season for the garden here. Thought I'd give a little tour what we've got going on this year in 2022. Got a couple of pots here that have some sunflowers almost getting ready to flower. Got some zinnias in there also. Over here we got some cabbage, some carrots, some corn, some onions. Earlier in the season we had some snow peas that were growing in here. This was where we had our garlic until a couple weeks ago. Harvested that, put in some sweet potatoes here. Hopefully they'll do well into October when we can plant next year's garlic in there. Strawberries are doing well again, getting some more fruit off them. They flowered in June and now they're getting more here in late July, doing well. Harvested one of the cabbages here, and apparently they'll grow additional heads if you let them, so it'll be interesting to see what they do. I also threw some more carrots in here and some dill recently. We had snow peas that were in this little contraption here earlier. Once they were done the end of June, threw some corn in there, so that should be ready sometime in late August, I would say. This one back here had snow peas in it too, and then we put some of Dad's mystery beans in this one. I believe there's some kind of pole bean. They're starting to climb up here, so looks like that'll do pretty well in there. More of Dad's pole beans in this bean house here. Give me an idea what that looks like. It's about 11 feet tall. Earlier in the season we had radishes in here and mesclun mix and arugula. Just took out the mesclun and the arugula recently, reseeded it, so we'll see how that does in this heat. Finally got a nice cool morning. It's in the 50s today and got about an inch of rain yesterday, so nice after having 6 90-degree days. Swiss chard is still doing really well. We've had a lot of Swiss chard this year. Over here is the house of cukes. We got some plants that are over 8 feet tall. There's about 3 dozen plants in here. I trim off the side shoots to try to get them to grow as vertical as possible. But got straight 8s that are growing in there this year. I like the Boston pickling better, but decided to try something different this year. Over here we got another raised bed that's got beans. These are from a cousin, Jeff Roberts. His Blue Lake pole beans are growing up this side, and then over here are Dad's Blue Lake pole beans. They're both doing really well. Got some carrots in there, a little basil in the front for when our tomatoes ripen, more Swiss chard, and then got some dill that's really starting to get some nice heads on it now. I was trying to grow some bush beans here, didn't do so well, so I took that out and planted some Swiss chard in there recently, so hopefully that'll do well. Trying cayenne peppers in here, doing okay in this fabric bag, not so great, but doing really pretty well in these planters here. We got one ripe one there and plenty of green ones. These bush beans have done well in this bag here. These are Blue Lake bush beans. Here we've got a planter that's got a butternut squash plant and a spaghetti squash plant. You can see a couple of butternuts there, and you can see the spaghetti there, some bush beans up top. Here we've got some corn that we've been eating off of for a couple of weeks. These are transplants from La Valley Farms. But we were in Martha's Vineyard when they needed to be pollinated and didn't quite get to it. I found that you really have to hand pollinate these guys, and so the ears are a little stubby, but they're still tasty. We've got about 6 or 7 bags of these fingerling potatoes. Just start with a little bit of soil in the bottom with the seed potatoes, and then keep adding soil as they go up, and they'll grow, and they should flower in the next few weeks and be able to harvest those. We had good luck with those last year. This was corn that I planted from seed. It's done pretty well. Some of the stalks are up about 8 feet or so now. More potatoes. Got some dill here. We got some house wrens that have nested in this birdhouse here. More potatoes. The tomatoes have done really well. We got 2 beefsteaks that are in this earth box, and it's just loaded with tomatoes in summer. We've had one that we harvested so far, but we're getting a lot more that are ripening here with this weather we've had lately. Here we've got zucchini and summer squash in this box. I've had problems in past years with squash vine borer, but knock on wood, no issues yet this year. Doing really well. This is the aqua garden. We've got grape tomatoes and green peppers in here. We've got a little flower garden back here. The deer ate the heads off of these sunflowers, but interestingly enough, they started to grow other heads off the shoots, and so we'll see if we actually get any sunflowers off of them. The deer like to come up to the edge. They ate some off of these apple trees back here, and they eat all that jewelweed down there, but never had an issue with them up here on the black ground cloth. Those are blueberry bushes, and then the grape vines are all back there that we use to make our grape jelly with. But got our solar lights that we installed this year, a little patio area. Yeah, that's about it for close to the peak of the season of 2022, the Record Sledding Park Garden.